Hello guys, in this video we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, and I'm going to be looking over the support and resistance possible price for Bitcoin in the upcoming future. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin possibly going to 22k, 16k may hold, or it may drop to 10k or sub 10k. So as we know that the volume for Bitcoin trading in the last few months has been very low, and it has been in a steady line over the last 1 year. If we look at the weekly chart, we can clearly see that Bitcoin has literally topped out, of course, twice, back in April last year and also November and December in 2021, and then since then it's just been dropping. Like, that has just been a very massive dump. So where are we in price wise, in percentage wise, since the top? So we can see we have dropped about 75%, and then average in a bear market Bitcoin tends to drop around 85% to 90%, and altcoins most likely drop about 95 to 98% over the time. Now, in terms of price, we are at the moment sitting at 16,574. Clearly at the moment, as looking at the 4-hour candle, so each candle represents 4 hours of price action. So we can see that the price has held this level. How do we know that? It's had 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches, 4 touches, possibly 5, a little bit of a fake out. So 4 to 5 touches around this 15,900 to 16k level. So at the moment we are trading $500 above this price. Now, what do we have above? What can we see? So we can see clearly that we have a good amount of resistance at this level here. So I'm just going to color code this red. So we have good resistance at this level, as well as this level here. Potentially this will be the next major resistance. So I am not gonna sugarcoat this and talk about that we are gonna be hitting a new all-time high, or we are starting a new bull season anytime soon. We have a lot of economic crisis happening around the world. So we have the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates. We can see that back in 2022 the Federal Reserve has always increased interest rates quite heavily, and the CPI data coming up really high. The federal government is clearly trying to see that if we can get somehow back to the 2% inflation rate, and they will do as whatever they can do in order to get to that level. Now that has of course impacted Bitcoin, has impacted the price of BTC as well as stocks in average. Now, in order to trade this, if you was to take a trade, then you can see that we have actually held this level as support around the 16,400 level on the hourly, if we can see. So around this level here, we can see here that if you was to take a trade, then you could have taken a trade around this level, and we can see that the price has already moved around, well, not even a percent to be honest. But if this was to move to the upside, the first point of finding resistance will be this level here, around the 16,750 to 16,800 level. Now I've not drawn a line here because we have been trading up to this level and below this level for quite some time now in the last couple of days. Now I do see personally BTC testing this level and then with volume having a breakout and then easily coming up and testing up the 17,200 level. So if anyone was to take a trade, you could take a trade. This is not financial advice, but I am already in a trade around this level, and the first point of taking profits will be this level here, 17,200. And the next point, if this was to break, will be this level here, the 18,400 level, which will be about 11% from where we are at the moment. Now, should this break to the downside, where are we looking to go? For that, you have to open up the daily candle and to see where BTC has actually seen. Now I've already marked out the top, the double top that it had, or near double top that it had, and it created the perfect M pattern, which has already played out, and we're already trading on the downside. Now I've drawn my two support ranges, the two major support ranges that we have here. Now you have to really kind of look left of the chart, because you have to look at the major resistance and support levels in order to see confluence of support to the downside. So if the price was to break to the downside, we can see clearly that this level has held support, because not only it's held support here, because if we look to the left, that's where we actually had a massive breakout, and then it broke to the downside and then it continued. So if this was to break, I would possibly say that with lack of volume and lack of trading around this range, BTC could easily crash down below to around 12k, which would be the first point. It would find any sort of real support. By all means, on a shorter time frame, it may find support around the 13 to 14k level, but I don't see that holding. So I would say that if this was to break to the downside, then we would see around 12k. And if 12k was not to hold, then the next point of the next support range will be around 10k. Now, I personally believe that we will see 12k. Now the matter of fact is when, is what we are all talking about. As you know, that loads of people are talking about 12k, 10k. Some people even talking about the previous 3.8k level where Bitcoin hit around 2020 during the pandemic. Now that could surely happen, but that would have to take some form of really catastrophic events around the globe, like such as Binance going down, or just like another FTX, or one of those kind of situations, or even bigger if they may be. But I do think that 12k possibly sometime during the first quarter of this year, we could see the 12k range being hit. Now if you are to trade Bitcoin, you could take a position now to the upside. Like I said, around the 16,800 level we have to break first, then the 17,200 to 17,400 level, and then we have some resistances to work with on the way up. Or the other way you could take is you could sit on the sidelines. If you're still not in a trade, then you could wait for the price to make its move, because a move will be likely in the next coming days. Now whether that's going to be to the upside or to the downside, I'm just going to say that my analysis would mean that the price would rise up before it was to break to the downside. Now to play this, you could if you're sitting on the sidelines, you could wait for the price to move to the upside. So with a very tight stop loss, you could possibly take a trade again around the 16,800 level, taking a short. And if that was not to work out, then your next point will be around the 17,200 to 17,400, or on a bigger range, you could work between 17,400 and 18,400, which will be your next point to short the market, and then hitting your take profit around the 12k level. Now, should Bitcoin break to the upside, can we see something called like a suckers rally? Of course we can, but is that likely to happen? I pretty much doubt it. Could this work out to be another rising wedge and then breaking to the downside? Of course, that is another possibility. Now, I've given you the support and resistances for Bitcoin. So your current support is 16,400. That breaks, then you're looking to head around 12,000 level. On the daily, remember this is a daily chart, so this to play out can take days, if not weeks. It can take days for this to play out. However, if you solely stick to support and resistances, you can trade these levels. And then what you can do for yourselves, you can look at the chart, and all you have to do is to create a support level. All you have to do is look to your left and to see if Bitcoin's actually held that level or not. So as you can see, if you zoom out, this was back in November 2020 when Bitcoin saw this 16,400 level and when it broke out from that range. And then you can see November 2022 we hit support around this level, 16,000, and then it broke to the upside. And same thing with resistances, you just have to look left of the chart and to see where was the next major support level for Bitcoin, which broke out and became a resistance. So a support where it gets tested many times, about 6-7 times, and gets broken down, takes some sort of a price push for it to break that level to the upside, so that becomes the next resistance. So that's all I have for you guys for this video. If you do like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want me to make more content like this, or if there's something that you want me to talk about specifically in the next video, then please drop a comment down below.